Akashvani presents Morning News. Good morning. I am Nishit Kumar. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi embarks on a 5-day state visit to US and Egypt. In his pre-departure statement says visit will be an opportunity to enrich depth and diversity of India-US partnership. Mr. Modi to lead International Day of Yoga celebrations at UN headquarters tomorrow. Lord Jagannath Rath Yatra to begin in Puri, Odisha this morning. Bureau of Indian Standards makes license mandatory for 24 footwear products from 1st of July. United Nations adopt first ever treaty to protect marine life in high seas. And in sports, Bhavani Devi becomes the first Indian to win a bronze medal at the Asian Fencing Championships in China. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi left on a 5-day visit to the United States and Egypt this morning. In his pre-departure statement, the Prime Minister said this visit will be an opportunity to enrich the depth and diversity of India-US partnership. He said that India-US ties are multifaceted with deepening engagements across sectors, and the USA is India's largest trade partner in goods and services. The Prime Minister said India and US collaborate closely in science and technology, education, health, defense and security fields. He said the initiative on critical and emerging technologies has added new dimensions and widened collaboration to defense industrial cooperation, space, telecom, quantum, artificial intelligence and biotech sectors. Mr. Modi added that the two countries are also collaborating to further our shared vision of a free, open and inclusive Indo-Pacific. On his Egypt visit, Mr. Modi said that he will travel to Cairo at the invitation of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi and was very excited to pay a state visit to a close and friendly country for the first time. Mr. Modi said he looks forward to discussions with President Sisi and senior members of the Egyptian government to impart further momentum to our civilizational and multifaceted partnership. Mr. Modi added that he will also have the opportunity to interact with the vibrant Indian diaspora in Egypt. The Prime Minister said these two visits in the span of a few months is a reflection of rapidly evolving partnership with Egypt, which was elevated to a strategic partnership during President Sisi's visit to India. The world-famous Rath Yatra or Chariot Festival of Puri in Odisha will begin this morning. It is one of the most awaited Hindu festivals in the country. The festival, usually celebrated in June to July, begins when Lord Jagannath and his two siblings, elder brother Lord Balabhadra and younger sister Devi Subhadra, are ready to give darshan to the public in Raths and visit Gundicha temple. The deities enjoy a 9-day stay in Gundicha temple. The three majestic chariots are ready and parked in front of the Singadwar of Jagannath temple facing east towards Gundicha temple. Lakhs of devotees will pull the chariots. Currently, the rituals of the lords are going on inside the temple. Since the deities will appear to the public, the day is extraordinary, attracting devotees to the pilgrim city. The Puri Shri Mandir administration expects about 13 lakh people to participate in the chariot festival. Multi-layer security arrangements have been made for the smooth conduct of the festival. We have more from our correspondent.
A total of 148 festivals are celebrated annually in the Puri Jagannath temple. They include 12 yatras, 28 upayatras and 108 festivals. Of them, Rath Yatra is the most famous. As per the schedule of rituals, around 3 p.m. the devotees will begin pulling the chariots. The yatra, which starts from the Puri temple, will conclude at Sri Gundicha temple, covering nearly 3 km distance. It is expected that the chariots will reach Gundicha temple before sunset. S.N. Patnaik for Akashvani News.
Lord Jagannath's 146th Rath Yatra will circumambulate the city today in Ahmedabad. Union Home and Cooperation Minister Amit Shah performed Mangala Arti at Lord Jagannath Temple in Ahmedabad early this morning. State Minister of State for Home Affairs Harsh Sanghvi also joined him. This time, after 72 years, all 3 6-wheel chariots have been newly made at a cost of 85 lakh rupees. After attending the Rath Yatra, Home Minister Amit Shah will attend various developmental programs in Ahmedabad. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has greeted people on the occasion of Rath Yatra. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said, as the country celebrates this sacred occasion, may the divine journey of Lord Jagannath fill people's lives with health, happiness and spiritual enrichment. This is Akashvani giving you the news. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. Welcome back. The Bureau of Indian Standards BIS license will be mandatory for 24 footwear products from the 1st of next month. Addressing media in New Delhi, Director General BIS Pramod Kumar Tiwari highlighted the importance of the quality control orders issued recently by the government for footwear and other products. He said a BIS license will be mandatory for the manufacturing, importing or selling of products under these quality control orders. Mr. Tiwari said the standards for footwear products are developed in consultation with the trade and industry bodies, consumer organizations and representatives of various stakeholders groups to ensure quality and authenticity. He said in order to make compliance convenient for small-scale and micro-scale industries, the implementation date will be the 1st of January next year. Mr. Tiwari said the government recently announced an 80% cut on testing charges for footwear products under the quality control orders for the certified startups and micro-industrial units. The 9th International Day of Yoga will be celebrated across the globe tomorrow. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will participate in the Yoga Day program at the United Nations headquarters in New York. The theme of the day this year is Yoga for Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Prime Minister Modi, in his Mann Ki Baat program on Akashvani, has urged listeners to take up yoga for their physical and mental well-being. In the recent episode of Mann Ki Baat address, the Prime Minister has said that the 21st of June is a great opportunity for people who are not connected with yoga to take up the practice.
साथियों, इस बार मुझे न्यूयॉर्क के संयुक्त राष्ट्र मुख्यालय यूएन में होने वाले योग दिवस कार्यक्रम में शामिल होने का अवसर मिलेगा। मैं देख रहा हूं कि सोशल मीडिया पर भी योग दिवस को लेकर गजब का उत्साह दिख रहा है। मेरा आप सभी से आग्रह है कि आप योग को अपने जीवन में जरूर अपनाएं, इसे अपनी दिनचर्या का हिस्सा बनाएं। अगर अब भी आप योग से नहीं जुड़े हैं, तो आने वाली 21 जून इस संकल्प के लिए बेहतरीन मौका है।
In his address at the United Nations General Assembly in 2014, the Prime Minister had suggested an International Day of Yoga on 21st of June. It received support of 177 countries, and since then, International Day of Yoga is being celebrated across the globe in every country. The United Nations General Assembly UNGA proclaimed 21st of June as the International Day of Yoga in their resolution. Since 2015, the International Day of Yoga has evolved into a mass movement for health around the world. Practice of yoga helps in improving metabolism, maintaining proper blood circulation, and reducing vulnerability to various ailments like respiratory disorders, cardiovascular diseases, and diabetes. In Madhya Pradesh, mass yoga sessions will be held at 51 archaeological sites of the state on the occasion of the International Day of Yoga tomorrow. The main event will be held at the Garrison Ground in Jabalpur. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar will be the chief guest of the program. We have more from our correspondent.
Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar will address the gathering on the 9th International Yoga Day in Jabalpur. Later, Vice President will also lead a mass yoga demonstration. The purpose of yoga at archaeological sites is to make the general public aware of the importance of yoga as well as the history of archaeological sites. The 51 sites of archaeological importance in the state include the Temple Group of Bateshwar, Mansingh Mahal of Gwalior, Kandariya Temple of Khajuraho, Jahangir Palace of Orchha, Mahakal Temple Complex of Ujjain and Jahaj Mahal of Mandu. Yoga activities are also being organized on the large scale in the Central Sanskrit University Bhopal by the Central Bureau of Communication. Sanjeev Sharma, Akashvani News, Bhopal.
Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh will arrive in Kochi on a 2-day visit beginning today. Mr. Singh is scheduled to visit the hydro ships at the Southern Naval Command this evening and release a navigational chart as part of the World Hydrographic Day. Chief of Naval Staff Admiral R. Harikumar will participate in the function. The Defence Minister will also interact with foreign trainees undergoing hydro training. Prime Minister Narendra Modi greeted President Draupadi Murmu on her 65th birthday today. In a tweet, the Prime Minister described her as a beacon of wisdom, dignity and commitment to the welfare of people and said she is admired for her efforts to further the nation's progress. Wishing Ms. Draupadi Murmu good health and a long life, Mr. Modi added that her dedication continues to inspire us all. President Draupadi Murmu was born in a Santali tribal family on the 20th of June 1958 at Uparbeda village, Mayurbhanj in Odisha. She was sworn in as the 15th President of India on 25th of July 2022. Previously, she was the Governor of Jharkhand from 2015 to 2021. She is the first person belonging to the tribal community and also the second woman after Mrs. Pratibha Patil to hold this office. The United Nations has adopted the first ever treaty to protect marine life in the high seas. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres hailed the historic agreement as giving the ocean a fighting chance. Delegates from the 193 member nations approved the treaty with jubilation yesterday. There wasn't a single objection. Guterres told delegates that the adoption of the treaty comes at a critical time when the oceans are under threat on many fronts. He said the treaty is vital to address these threats, and he urged all countries to spare no efforts to ensure that it is signed and ratified as soon as possible. The treaty to protect biodiversity in waters outside national boundaries, known as the high seas, covering nearly half of the Earth's surface, has been under discussion for more than 20 years as efforts to reach an agreement has repeatedly been stalled. The new treaty will be open for signatures on September 20th during the annual meeting of the world leaders at the General Assembly and will take effect once it is ratified by 60 countries. The India Meteorological Department IMD has forecast that heat wave conditions over East India and adjoining areas are likely to abate gradually from today. The IMD said temperatures will fall by 3 to 5 degrees Celsius over Madhya Pradesh and East India during the next 5 days. Parts of the national capital Delhi and its adjoining areas received light to moderate rain this morning, bringing much needed respite from the searing heat. The Met Office has forecast more rain over the next 2 days. In Assam, 444 villages are affected by floods in 18 districts. Nearly 5,000 hectares of crop area has been damaged across the state. The India Meteorological Department has issued a red alert and predicted very heavy to extremely heavy rainfall across several districts of Assam till Thursday. According to Assam State Disaster Management Authority, more than 30,000 people are affected by floods. Olympian CA Bhavani Devi has created history by defeating reigning world champion Misaki Imura in the Asian Fencing Championship quarterfinal and securing India its first ever medal at the event. The Indian fencer stunned the world number 1 15-10 to enter the women's sabre semi-final. Bhavani, however, lost to Uzbekistan's Zainab Deybekova in the semi-finals 15-14, securing a bronze medal. Union Minister for Youth Affairs and Sports Anurag Singh Thakur has congratulated Bhavani Devi on her victory. In a tweet, Mr. Thakur described Bhavani Devi as a trailblazer and an inspiration to fellow athletes. He said Bhavani Devi elevated the sport to the recognition it deserves. The Taipei Open Badminton Tournament will start today at Taipei in Taiwan. H.S. Pranoy will lead the Indian challenge at the tournament. And now for a look at today's newspapers, it's over to Subhadra Ramachandran.
Thank you, Nishid. Substantive results will mark Modi visit, says U.S. National Security Advisor, as India hopes. Trip to herald deeper ties to go beyond individual deals is a cover page story in Hindustan Times. Despite tensions, India, US, China conduct joint army drill in Mongolia, according to a story in the Tribune. 1988 batch IPS officer Ravi Sinha appointed the new RAW chief, says the Asian Age. Khalistani Tiger Force chief Hardeep Singh Nijjar, a designated terrorist, gunned down in Canada, reports the Hindu. Indigo Airlines makes aviation history as it orders 500 Airbus A320 planes, headlines the Indian Express. Bhavani Devi beats world number 1 on way to historic medal in fencing, reports Hindustan Times. And finally, in Ashes, Edgbaston test on knife edge, says the Indian Express. With that, it's back to you, Nishit.
Thank you, Subhadra. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi embarks on a 5-day state visit to US and Egypt. In his pre-departure statement, says visit will be an opportunity to enrich depth and diversity of India-US partnership. Mr. Modi to lead International Day of Yoga celebrations at UN headquarters tomorrow. Lord Jagannath Rath Yatra to begin in Puri, Odisha this morning. Bureau of Indian Standards makes license mandatory for 24 footwear products from the 1st of July. United Nations adopt the first ever treaty to protect marine life in high seas. And in sports, Bhavani Devi becomes the first Indian to win a bronze medal at the Asian Fencing Championships in China. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website newsonair.gov.in and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.